Hey, welcome to Classic Performance, and we're here today to spotlight a very special Porsche, being one of the most iconic and recognizable Porsche racing cars of all time, the 917 or 917K, and this is in its original unrestored condition, just as it was last raced in 1971. This particular example is of the Revs Institute in Naples, Florida, and you might have seen this car as part of the dozens of very rare Porsches we featured in our most recent upload from the Highlands Motoring Festival. And it's just some of the cars we walked around Porsche-wise and spotlighted in that upload were the very rare 555A, the 906, the 908 Short Tail Coupe, the 91710 from the Can-Am series, which was also a flat 12 but with twin turbochargers, the 916 prototype, and many other very significant Porsches and other marques as well. I will put an end screen at the end of this video and also a link in the description if you'd like to go back and look at all the featured cars at the Highlands Motoring Festival. But let's talk about the 917. When the 917 arrived in 1969, this marked the beginning of an unparalleled racing car career for the 917. The 917 chassis 001 was to be a Group 4 sports car and was designed to sweep the board at the 24 Hours of Le Mans and win the World Championship for the brand Porsche. There were 25 917s produced to meet the requirement or the homologation for type approval in order to be eligible to race, and was presented to the public for the first time ever in Geneva on March of 1969 at the show there, with the bodywork in white, with a green front section, and it had a new look for its appearance at the International Motor Show in Frankfurt, Germany in that same year, for which the car was repainted white with orange. And then when Porsche later announced the transfer of its racing activities to the JW Automotive Engineering Team, the 917 chassis 001 was again repainted and used as a presentation vehicle, and this time refinished in the very iconic brand colors of the U.S. oil company and sponsor, Gulf, which of course is light blue and orange, and is so recognizable today on 917s and also the GT40s. And of course was offered later on in the early 2000s as a heritage paint option edition for the Ford GT. The Porsche 917K or K meaning Kershek or Short Tail was the first of the 917s to achieve a first place clean sweep at the 24 Hours of Le Mans, and that was the goal they set out for. Our featured car here today, which I'm going to show you in just a second, is chassis 019, and made its debut at the 12 Hours of Sebring on March 21st in round 2 of the 1970 World Sports Car Championship. This is a flat 12 air-cooled engine, normally aspirated, mounted midship, has twin overhead camshafts, and this has the larger fuel-injected displacement of 4,907 cc's or 5 liters, being 600 horsepower. Now 600 horsepower by today's standards doesn't sound like a lot of horsepower, but you got to keep in mind the 917 weighed only 1,760 pounds, rolling on a 90.6-inch wheelbase. So the car was incredibly fast for its time. Chassis 019, its final outing was in 1971 at the Spa 1,000-kilometer race in Belgium, where a 917K did win, but it was not this particular chassis 019. And also the year before, in 1970, a 917K also won in Spa. In 1972, chassis 019 was sold to a private ownership in Hermosa Beach, to a Hermosa Beach, California Porsche dealership, to be displayed in the showroom and on display for advertising, and also as part of the personal collection for the owner of the dealership. The car remained there until 1998, in which point it joined the Miles Collier collection. Now the Revs Institute in Naples, Florida, where it resides today, giving this particular 917 only 2 private owners since it last raced at Spa. Now it's said It was told to me, I haven't driven the car, of course, that the 917K is a very well-mannered car, even on the street, with a long throw, light-feeling clutch, and it easily runs and drives at RPMs below 2,000. Chassis 917 is even driven occasionally on the street around Naples, Florida. So let's take a look at chassis 019, the 917K, in person at the Highlands Motoring Festival. 917K, and this car is original, unrestored, and you just look at the patina on it and some of the cracking. This is the flat 12. It's even got the road rash on the lens covers. And it's a tight fit in there. I don't know how well you can see, maybe better through the windshield, but it's an incredibly tight fit. To think that, you know, these guys race these cars for 24-hour stints, and I believe one of the necessary qualifications is it did have to have a passenger seat, so we've got that right there. And I believe this car is number 19.
I can open it up for you.
Oh, sure.
Just look inside.
Yeah.
It's about as original as they come.
It is just about original as they come, is right. Yeah. And like I said, this was your office and this was your home for 24 hours. Just gear shifter over here. Here's your pattern and limited dashboard. Switch gear right here, and that's it. So we'll get a little history on this car. It was last raced when in 71.
Yeah, it's bought in 71, and then since then it's been in storage throughout the 70s and 80s under Vasek Polak ownership, and then the Revs Institute acquired it in the early 1990s. So it's been pretty much unrestored, you know, untouched mechanically. It's safe and sound.
This is the same livery and the same.
Yeah, since 1971.
Since 1971, and when it last raced.
This car has an interesting history because it started out with a different livery. It started out with the Salzburg livery. A lot of people know this livery with a car that won Le Mans 70, although it was red and white. But this is the first livery. Then it was converted to the blue, and you can actually see on the other side, but even some of the places here, you can see still some of that original blue. You can probably see it more on the other side. You kind of see it there as well. And then after that was when Martini, you know, sponsored the car, so it changed the livery, but it still doesn't have the little fins. You know, they were still working on stabilizing the rear end out of it. That's a Daytona. And now a Daytona had an interesting thing. The right front tire blew out and then hit the wall, and that was the DNF. But you can see the scar of where the tire blew out and damaged the body a little bit. You know, and it was just patched up, and you know, it's still there, the history of that. So it had a DNF. It raced at Brands Hatch, and you know, you can see it still has the green. They went from the blue to the green details. And then at Monza was when they put the fins on, and they also had a hood little scoop, intake scoop on there that you can see. And if you look, that's why you can see the bare fiberglass, because when they put the fins, they repainted the tail, but they had the hood scoop on it at the beginning, so that's why you see the bare fiberglass on here and over there, is because of that hood scoop. And then, you know, they took the hood scoop off. They saw it wasn't very efficient, and then the last race was at Spa, right as you see it. And then, like I said, since then it's at Revs, and we take it to different events. We drive it on the road, on public roads sometimes. We take it to the racetrack.
So that's a great piece of history right there, and all of its originality. Appreciate you.
My pleasure, sir.
Yeah, from the Miles.
Yep, from Revs Institute, Miles.
Thank you.
My pleasure. We're going to start it out.
You know, we were just about to leave, and they got the hood up on the 917K, so we'll give you a little look under the hood. And you know, the one thing you note, you got the spare tire right here, and you say, why does this car have a spare tire? And it's actually got a Space Saver spare, but the spare tire was mandatory, I think, for Le Mans. Is that correct?
Regulations.
Yeah, it was a regulation. So every car that raced in Le Mans in this era had a spare tire. So there's your spare tire, and there's the massive flat 12.
the earliest Grand Prix cars.
So anyway, last look at the 917K. So there's a look at one of the most original 917s known to exist. If you missed our last upload featuring the 917K and many other significant Porsches, here is an end screen, and of course, like I said, I'll have the link in the description if you'd like to go check it out. So if you like classic cars, sports cars, race cars, I encourage you to subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, give it a thumbs up, and thanks for watching. Take care and have a great day.